Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on these invisible chains that pretty much hold our entire modern world together. They're in just about everything we touch, see, and use. All right, let's get right into it. So, let's just start with a quick question. Look around you for a second. Think about the shirt you're wearing, maybe that plastic bottle of water on your desk, or even the very code that makes you, well, you. What on earth could possibly connect all these completely different things?
The answer? Polymers. Now, it's a word you've probably heard thrown around, but it's honestly one of the most important concepts in all of chemistry and material science. It's the thing that links the artificial stuff we make to the natural stuff that makes us.
So let's really dig into this. We're going to explore the world of these incredible materials, from the things we manufacture in a factory to the things that our own bodies manufacture every single second.
See, at its heart, a polymer is really just a giant molecule. Think of them as the heavy hitters, the absolute titans of the molecular world. They're the secret ingredient in this huge range of materials, from the toughest plastics we can dream up to the delicate proteins that make life itself possible.
So to really get what a polymer is, we've got to break it down to its most basic construction. How do you build something so massive and so versatile? Well, like with any great structure, it all starts with something much, much smaller.
And here it is, our key definition. A polymer is a large molecule, a macromolecule, that's built by linking together at least 50, but often thousands, of these smaller repeating units. And those little units have a name. They're called monomers. You know, the root words tell the whole story. Poly means many, and mono means one. It's literally that simple. Many individual units join together to make one big thing.
Now, check out how this slide visualizes the process. It's perfect. You start with this whole collection of individual monomers, these separate little green ovals here. Then, through a chemical reaction called polymerization, they link up. They're held together by these super strong covalent bonds. Think of it like molecular superglue, and they form this long, connected polymer chain. For many individuals comes one massive, powerful structure.
So, how does this linking magic actually happen? Well, it turns out chemists are kind of like chefs, and they've got two main recipes to make it work, each with its own special ingredients and a slightly different result. Let's look at the chemistry behind building the chain.
This table is a great little cheat sheet. On the left, you've got addition polymerization. The key things to notice, it uses one type of monomer and it only makes one thing, the polymer. That's it. On the right, condensation polymerization. This one usually uses two different monomers and it makes two products, the polymer and a small molecule, like water. So let's break down each recipe.
Okay, recipe number 1 is addition polymerization. But honestly, I like to call this the just add method, because that's literally what happens. You just keep adding more and more monomers onto the chain.
So the secret sauce for this method, the one crucial ingredient, is a carbon-carbon double bond in your monomer. Think of that double bond as a pair of hands, where one hand is already busy holding on to the other. But under just the right conditions, that hand lets go, freeing it up to grab onto the next monomer in line, which frees up its hand to grab the next one, and so on, creating this long, simple chain.
And this shows it perfectly. This is the classic example. On the left, you have a bunch of these ethene monomers, each one with that special CC double bond. The reaction happens, one of those bonds breaks, and bam! They all link up to form the long polymer chain you see on the right, polyethylene. You and I know it as polyethylene, the stuff that makes up plastic bags, shampoo bottles. It's everywhere.
And what's really cool is that this isn't a one-way street. Because we understand this process so well, we can actually reverse engineer it. You can show a chemist a polymer, like the one on the left, and they can spot that simple repeating unit, mentally snap that single bond back into a double bond, and tell you exactly which monomer was used to make it. It's like being a molecular detective.
Okay, let's move on to our second recipe. This one is called condensation polymerisation, or what I like to call the link and lose method. And yet, that name gives you a massive clue about what makes it so different.
So for this one, instead of a double bond, our monomers have these active little parts on each end called functional groups. Think of them as special connection points, like little Lego studs. Usually use two different kinds of monomers. The functional group on one monomer reacts with the group on another, they form a link, and in that exact moment, they release or lose a tiny molecule. Most of the time, it's just plain old water.
This is a perfect example, making PET. That's the plastic in soda bottles. You have two different monomers here. You can see how the end of one and the end of the other react. They join up, forming what's called an ester link in the middle. And what gets kicked out? H2O, water. They link,
and they lose a water molecule. Simple as that.
Now, you might be thinking this is all very clever chemistry that happens in some big industrial factory. But what if I told you that you, right now, are running on this exact same chemical process?
Yep, that's right. This link and lose recipe isn't just for making plastics. Forget factories. Nature is the ultimate master of this recipe. It has been perfecting it for billions of years, and it's happening inside every single living cell on this planet, including all of yours.
Because that is exactly what proteins are. They are natural condensation polymers. Their monomers are called amino acids, and they link together using that same link and lose principle over and over, building the incredibly complex machinery of life itself. So we figured out how to make these unbelievably strong, durable polymer chains. But that very durability, the quality that makes them so incredibly useful to us, has also created one of our planet's biggest challenges. The thing is, we designed this stuff to last forever. And it does. Most plastics don't biodegrade. That means they just sit there, clogging up our oceans and filling up our landfills. And if we try to burn them, well, that just releases greenhouse gases. We basically invented this amazing miracle material that we now have no idea how to properly get rid of.
But here's the twist. Here's where the story gets really hopeful. The very same chemical knowledge that allowed us to create these polymers in the first place is now giving us the tools to deal with them. The key isn't just about making them anymore, it's about understanding how to unmake them.
And this brings us full circle, right back to PET, our plastic bottle polymer. Scientists can now use a process called re-polymerisation. It's amazing. They use enzymes or catalysts to basically snip all those little chemical links we saw being made earlier. This breaks the massive polymer chain all the way back down into its original monomer building blocks. Those monomers can then be purified and used to make brand new PET plastic. It's a truly circular solution.
So just think about that. The chemistry that literally built our modern world is now the same chemistry we desperately need to preserve it. The story of polymers isn't over. The challenge now is to use what we know not just to create, but to recreate, to turn our biggest waste problem back into one of our most valuable resources. The future isn't just about making new things. It's about being clever enough to unmake them too.